About another kind of chord substitution technique. Last time we talked about the chord substitution technique of asking yourself into what other chord will this melody note fit, and we used the example of Silent Night. If we started on Silent Night and ask ourselves what other note that was part of in addition to C, we said we could come up with lots of different chord substitutions. And if you haven't watched that, be sure and watch that, because that's the key to thousands of chord substitutions, really. But let me give you another one that is applicable anytime you have a seventh chord. Let's say you have a G7th chord. You can always substitute the chord that's a fourth below, counting down 4 notes down the scale, and build a minor 7th chord. In other words, for G7, just count down 4 notes from G and build a minor 7th chord there, and you have D minor 7th, which is a substitute for G7th. Now there's a very few exceptions to that. Sometimes if the melody conflicts with it, you can't use it, but normally you can. So let's say that our melody is G and we have a G7th chord normally, okay? Well, we can substitute a D minor 7th, so that'll sound like that. And then we resolve to G7th. If our chord was C7th, for example, let's say we have a C7th with a G on top. We can count down 4 notes from C and build a minor 7th. That would be G minor 7th. So for C7th, instead of playing C7th, we could use G7th and then resolve to C7th. Let's take one more. Let's say we have a B flat 7th chord. What would we substitute for that? We go down a fourth and substitute a minor 7th. A minor 7th on F would be F, A flat, C, and E flat. If you don't know chords, of course, that's another issue, okay, and that's not the subject of this this short little video. You have to pursue other instructional devices for that. But if you want some good chord substitutions, consider those two that we just talked about. First one, the one we took up last time, is ask yourself into what other chord this melody note will fit. And the second thing is, whenever you have a G7th chord, you can substitute a D minor 7th. In other words, a chord the fourth below for G7th. So you see that makes it a lot mellower, doesn't it? Okay, so that's 2 out of 3 chord substitution techniques, and I'll be back again soon with the third chord substitution technique, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoy these little tips, then come on over to playpiano.com and sign up for our free email newsletter. You'll get a newsletter about every 3 or 4 days with a tip like this on it. Not always a video, but it's usually an audio with lots of pictures and so on. So if you want to learn chords and chord progressions, come on over and see us. Thanks for being with me, and we'll see you next time.